The land on which we live has always shaped us. From food we eat to clothes we wear, everything is influenced by the geography around us. Our choices are shaped by the rivers, mountains, deserts, lakes, seas, and even the soil of our country. And believe me, I am not exaggerating at all. Throughout our history, powerful empires have fought bloody battles to conquer more and more land so that they can exploit the natural richness of new lands or use those lands for strategic military planning. However, in the 21st century, going to war for conquering more land is no longer an option. The only way for countries to increase their influence is by being part of the world trade. It all comes down to how a country can position itself into the world trade. I mean, look at the most powerful and successful countries of the world. They are all like shopping malls. Everything is for sale. Technology, arms, natural resources, you name it, they sell it. In 21st century, to become successful, countries have to think like business persons. And for a businessman, location of his business always matters. The borders are set, the trade rules are well defined, and now it all comes down to successful use of geography, diplomacy, and trade. And for that same reason, today you and I are going to explore 5 reasons why the location of your country matters more than you think. The climate and soil. Oh, yeah, that is so obvious and easy, you would say. But anyway, it has its importance. Soil and climate of your country define what you can grow in your country. There are countries which are mostly dependent on other countries to have food, and too much dependence is never good for any country. Most countries which are located in the tropical region are underdeveloped because these countries suffer from temperature, tropical diseases, and bad soil quality. We humans became civilized because we started doing agriculture. Trade and commerce became possible because of the agriculture products we produced. The most developed countries in the world typically have a temperate climate without extremes of temperature and with fairly consistent weather patterns. This makes for reliable and sustainable agriculture so the country can provide for itself and have access to trade. This makes for reliable and sustainable agriculture so the country can provide for itself and have some more to trade. Successful trade equals power and political influence. Okay, now let's assume you have a good amount of agricultural products ready to sell. But hey, wait, not everyone wants to be a farmer and do agriculture. Some people want to exploit the natural resources and manufacture things. Natural resources seems a very obvious factor, but this factor gives countries like China a power to disrupt the world trade. To countries like Russia, it can give power over other countries. You don't believe me? Let me tell you how. Rare earth elements are very crucial for manufacturing electronics, but they are mostly found in China. Rare earth elements are located everywhere in small quantities, but the Chinese rare earth industry makes up 97% of the world trade. China alone has roughly 30% of the world's rare earth elements reserves. A few years ago, an international trade war almost erupted when Chinese suppliers abruptly raised prices on these key elements and the world suddenly realized that China has a monopoly over the rare earth elements.